this is only a short preview of the 2025 Tour Auto. The full story is coming up right now. Like every year, the Tour Auto, the most prestigious race for vintage cars and an evocation of the Tour de France automobile, takes place in early spring.
Allez, on braque à gauche. Elle est à côté de l'autre M1. Il y a 3 M1, on n'attend plus que la dernière. On va la décaler légèrement comme ça.
Patrick Peter created this event 34 years ago, but in 2024 he took a step back, and this edition is the first to take place without its creator. Well, not quite.
Bonjour, Patrick Peter, premier Tour Auto.
Hello, Patrick Peter, first Tour Auto.
Enfin, comme concurrent.
As a participant, at least.
On est très calme, on est très tranquille.
I'm very calm, very relaxed. I don't have to worry about the organization, so I'm pretty happy.
Je suis très content. Je suis très content.
Happy and serene, everything is going well.
Serein, tout va bien.
While Patrick will discover the Tour Auto as a competitor, Marc Wayoun will experience his first tour as its general manager.
Une grande fierté de reprendre les rênes du Tour Auto et de Peter Auto avec toute mon équipe et nos partenaires. C'est un Tour Auto cette année qui va être placé sous le signe de la sportivité, du rêve et de l'innovation.
The Tour Auto is a rally that is quite unique. It's a rally on open roads with an important sporting side with an incredible array of cars at the start, from popular cars over GT cars to prototypes even. The course is not easy. It's over 2,200 kilometers long, with 11 time stages and a sporting aspect that is really important. The Tour Auto is one of the oldest rallies in the world and also one of the most difficult and certainly one of the most beautiful rallies as well.
Bonjour monsieur, dites-moi votre numéro. 133.
Ça c'est le Tour Auto qui commence.
Bonjour monsieur. Allez, numéro de voiture. Non, 155. La voiture 14. On va avoir besoin d'une petite feuille rouge.
On a les sacs, vérif administrative. On y va? Allez, go.
As is the case every year, the 300 or so participants gather in Paris for the scrutineering, both technical and administrative, but also for 2 days of exhibitions at the Porte de Versailles. Plenty of enthusiasts were able to visit the Tour Auto Rolling Museum on display for their viewing pleasure.
Bonjour messieurs, 2 entrées et les petits programmes qui vont avec. Merci, bonne journée. Au revoir.
Just imagine that these cars are taken on the open roads and driven across France. I think that's exceptional. Indeed, taking risks with these cars, that's really incredible. The pre-start event is also an opportunity to attend the big auction.
12 000 au téléphone, 13 000 pour moi. 13,000.
20 000. Adjugé 20 000 au numéro 5. Merci beaucoup et on continue.
But also to meet stars of all stripes, most of them obviously connected to the automobile. Among all the autographers and other selfie takers, this gentleman, whose height is inversely proportional to his racing record.
87 victoires en tout.
I've won 87 events, 4 of them in the Tour. The highlights for me include the Tour de France, which was a very important event for me. Back in the day, it was a monstrous rally with between 8 and 10 hours of timed stages. It certainly was no holiday. Bernard Darniche wouldn't miss the start of a Tour Auto for anything in the world, especially since this year one of the models in the spotlight was the Lancia Stratos, several of which were rented, and Bernard has without a doubt driven some of them.
Beau, t'es prêt?
Bah presque, ouais.
Vous allez avoir quelques beaux adversaires là sur le plateau 5.
Tu avais étudié le roadbook alors?
Bah oui, j'espère que ça va suffire, mais...
Ah ben une fois que t'as compris comment ça marchait, ça va?
The scene is set, let's leave Paris. In the early morning hours, the banks of the Seine vibrate to the sound of engines heading towards Vaux-le-Vicomte for the official start of the 2025 Tour Auto. For a good part of the morning, vintage cars parade through the splendid setting of gardens designed by Le Nôtre. From the oldest car in the Tour, a 1935 Bugatti T55, to the most recent, this 1980 BMW M1. Between the two cars there is 45 years of automotive history, which will parade across France during 5 beautiful, long and difficult stages. This mix of all kinds of cars is the magic of the Tour Auto. That's why we're here. And it's nice to go for a drive when the sun is out as well. These are magnificent cars, and for many, this is a dream come true. And I'm one of them. I've waited quite a bit, but now I'm able to afford such a car. Just outside Vaux-le-Vicomte, the competitors are treated to a road section through the medieval village of Noyer-sur-Seine, one of the most beautiful villages in France. Now it's time to put on the helmets, because yes, the Tour Auto is also a race with special stages on closed roads and circuits, and from the very first special stage, it's flat out. For some, it was a bit too fast. To recover from these emotions, we head towards the Fontenay Abbey, a World Heritage Site that welcomes the participants during their lunch break. And this gives us the opportunity to have a look at this very nice 1972 coupe. The first Toyota Celica didn't get good reviews when it was released, like many Japanese cars at the time. Heresy, because it's not only a very attractive car, it's also a genuine little sports car that's affordable and fun to drive, as Julia and David confirm. There's somebody famous who drove this car, right? Isn't it Paul Newman? Yes, Paul Newman. So there you go. And we're pretty proud of it as well. And now it's David.
Alors en fait, pour être très honnête, on a cherché pour
To do the Tour Auto, we were looking for a car that wasn't too expensive, that packs a bit of punch, and that is fun to drive. And when we had a look at the eligible cars, the Celica was the car to have.
C'est la Celica qui correspondait aux critères.
Et même nous, honnêtement, on la connaissait pas.
We didn't know the car before we saw it on the list, and we're pretty proud that our service cars are more expensive than our rally car.
Qui coûte plus cher que la voiture dans laquelle on court.
And such an approach allows for a wide variety of models at the start. People have to know that only cars that did the Tour de France before 1972 can participate in the Tour Auto, the event which was called Tour de France Automobile in the past. An Alfa Spider is anything but a racing car, yet it participated in the Tour de France back in the day and therefore qualifies for the Tour Auto.
Nous, on le fait plutôt à la Dolce Vita.
We're taking this event with a bit of Dolce Vita, and these weather conditions really suit us. It gives us an immense pleasure to drive on the roads of France and share this event with very passionate people, both competitors and the spectators along the way. It really is fantastic.
C'est vraiment super.
It's already time to head to Dijon, stopping at the Prenois circuit for a confrontation for each of the 5 grids into which the cars are divided by year of manufacture. It's late Tuesday afternoon and the crowd has turned out in force to witness the spectacle. And on the first evening, they're also in force at the service park to welcome the cars and their drivers at the end of an intense first leg, which is nothing compared to what awaits the competitors later. Wednesday morning. After a few hours of sleep, the service park wakes up to the morning dew. The day promises to be beautiful, with an unprecedented route to the east and a visit to the Anneau du Rhin. The only time the Tour has visited the circuit was in 2014. First of all, the Anneau du Rhin is not an oval as some people think, but it's a real circuit. I don't really remember the circuit, but I will get to know it very soon. It's a very treacherous circuit with a chicane on the main straight, a bit like the Piff Paff in Spa, except it's not a wide circuit at all. Before hitting the roads, we have a meeting with Jean-Jacques, an Alpine enthusiast and owner of a very rare A106. Yes, indeed, the A106 is a pretty rare car. I think there are only some 30 cars still running. It's the very first Alpine, it's the start of it all. When Redelais created this one, it was an alternative to the 4CV. This car already had a polyester bodywork, which was mounted on a modified 4CV chassis. And some even had a more powerful engine as well.
Avec un moteur pour certaines un peu plus puissant.
The landscapes of eastern France across the Vosges and Alsace have a very exotic feel for the Tour Auto. And the route designed by the organizers delights the competitors. It's all smiles at the finish of the special stages. And this is especially true when the stage times are good, as is the case with father and son Breitmeier. Olivier takes another scratch in the morning at the wheel of his BMW M1, and Emile leads the VHC category in his Ford GT40.
Oh, c'est vraiment cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to be able to do this together. You compare times? Oh, my car is 20 years older than his. I would prefer it the other way around. We're here to have fun, and that's the most important. The rest of the day continued to be a success for the Breitmeier family, especially on the Anneau du Rhin and its endless straight of nearly 1 kilometer. Most of the drivers were new to the track, and the least we can say is that it really was appreciated. Let's go on board then, starting with a view from the cockpit of the Matra MS650 of John of B. And this is Alexander Ritwega's Ferrari Daytona. And the view from the helmet of Maxime Guéna aboard his Porsche RSR.
C'était pas mal, une belle découverte.
Not bad, a very nice circuit. It's a fantastic circuit with beautiful straights and corners. I had a great time.
C'était vraiment un super moment. And then I think everybody was trying to figure out the right line, but once you got the hang of it, it's a nice twisty track. It was good fun.
But the day between Dijon and Mulhouse was above all a day for the two Bugattis. What an honor for their owners to bring their splendid pre-war vehicles to their homeland, with the highlight being a theatrical arrival at the National Automobile Museum and the Schlumpf collection, which has 50 or so Bugattis, including 2 of the 6 Bugattis Royales ever built.
Ça, c'est le même modèle. Et encore, c'est pas le même capot. Celle-là, c'est le
cabrio.
Châssis.
C'est l'eau. T'as la vitre arrière. Oui, celle-là, c'est la. Ah non, il y a les freins encastrés.
Ah ouais, non.
Oh, mais elle était toute un peu différente. Hein.
Bah, c'était à la demande.
Oui.
Là, c'est une boîte, là.
Et puis la même que moi que là-bas la dernière.
607 kilometers, 3 special stages and a visit to the Brest circuit. That's the gargantuan program for Thursday's trip to Clermont-Ferrand. Stefano and Tommaso are ready as soon as they wake up for the longest day yet. Their Stratos is purring and off they go, to the sound of the Ferrari V6 engine. For yes, the Stratos was equipped with a 2.4-litre Maranello engine, the same one found in this car. But what is the brand of this machine? On the grey cards it says Ferrari, but it's the only place in the car where you will find the word Ferrari. All the badges say Dino. Designed by Pininfarina, the Dino, well represented at the Tour Auto, clearly set the tone for the design of the future 308, 512 and 355, the mid-engined road-going Ferraris.
C'est une voiture qui est très légère. C'est la première voiture.
It's a very light car, the first road-going Ferrari with a mid-engine, which was new for the brand.
Véhicule léger, moteur.
So a light car with an engine that revs very high, so it's a very pleasant car to drive, a great experience.
Comme étant une superbe expérience à piloter.
Here's another pleasant little car. The Lotus Elan 26R also had a genius side, completely faithful to the spirit instilled by the creator of Lotus, Colin Chapman. A lightweight 580 kilograms car with a small 105 brake horsepower engine, in short, a go-kart. At the wheel of this one is an all-female crew who are increasingly numerous. There are more women in the regularity part of the rally, but maybe more will come in the future. We're having lots of fun. We both have a specific task. Charlotte drives on the circuits, I do the special stages, and we share the road sections. Charlotte finished third in class at the Brest circuit and did even better at the finish of the Tour Auto. Together with Michaela, they were the first women, 55th overall and third in class. At the end of the marathon stage, a bit of comfort for man and machine. But it's a short rest for the regularity competitors who had to get up very early to drive on the Charade circuit, a track with many elevation changes where the key is to be as consistent as possible. But what is the secret to success in regularity?
Avec le copilote.
Together with your co-driver, you have to determine the correct tire pressure. Otherwise, you are too slow or too fast. You have to be able to keep the right rhythm. And if you don't have the correct tire pressure, you cannot keep the correct average speeds. On the racetrack, the driver chooses the speed at which to drive, and the co-driver has to take different measurements and references on the racetrack to guide him and reach the finish line on time. It's a fun but difficult task, because the car is moving. This year, a group of Argentinians ruled the roost in regularity. From start to finish, the South Americans dominated the race, whether in special stages or on the circuits. And at the finish on the Promenade des Anglais in Nice, they scored a clean sweep, with 4 Argentinians among the top 5. The big winners being Martin and Francisco Zuccari.
When we first came here in 1999, there were no one from South America, only French people. So we decided to speak with our friends in Argentina after we saw this event, how nice it was. We were able to bring some friends and put some pepper and salt on the race, fighting against and having fun against the French guys.
Like the Zuccari car, more than 70% of the Porsche 911s built still exist, which is why they are so common in historic racing. However, contrary to appearances, this one isn't a 911.
Non, c'est une 912.
No, it's a 912. It's the bodywork of a 911 with the engine of the 356. There was a time when this 4-cylinder car was a threat to the 911, which is why they stopped racing it, I think, because commercially that wasn't good for Porsche. It's a great and well-balanced car, but we lack a bit of power in the climbs. In the descents, however, the lightweight car does wonders. The 911 became more and more expensive, and those who didn't have the means to buy one, like me, bought the 912. But because it really is a pleasant car, lots of people wanted one, and it became more valuable as well. But let's go back a little to stage 4 between Clermont-Ferrand and Villeneuve-l'Avignon. The competitors experienced another idyllic day, crossing incredible landscapes through the Loire and the Ardèche regions. The Ardèche, rally country and a mainstay for both the Monte Carlo Rally and the Tour de France Automobile, with a must-see location, La Remise in Entraigues-sur-Rolanne, home to Yves Joanny and his sister Yvette. It's one of the mainstays of the Monte Carlo in the Ardèche and later on the Tour de France as well, which was held in September. So the tradition was apple pie in January for the Monte Carlo rally and strawberry pie for the Tour de France. Most of the time it was the same drivers visiting and the tradition still exists. I'm very happy that the Tour Auto visits us as well, even though it's not every year. A moment suspended in time, just like the evening dinner at the Chartreuse in Villeneuve-les-Avignon. Only the Tour Auto offers such a concentration of emotions for lovers of vintage cars. This is already the start of the last day of racing, heading to the finish in Nice. In the morning, it's already pretty busy. It's not a job, it's a passion, otherwise I wouldn't be here. The days are long and we cover a lot of mileage running behind the cars. In the evening, we have to verify if everything is still in working order and give the driver a reliable car for the next day. Others almost regret that the event is coming to an end, especially when they're behind the wheel of an Aston Martin.
It was modified by the previous owner, who actually was a French guy. And that's why you have the French bag on the front of the car. That's very unusual. It's the Aston Martin with the French flag. So the back of the car was modified so the owner can have a better view on the back of the car when he was driving. And because the original window was too small, so if you're using this car in competition, with that modification you have a broader view.
With just under 400 kilometers remaining between Villeneuve-les-Avignon and Nice, the battle for the lead is raging hard. Unfortunately, Emil Breitmeier had to retire due to a broken gearbox on his GT40, and in VHC it's now a battle between Jaguars and Damien Coeur's Shelby Cobra. The 2025 Tour Auto will be decided on the first special stage of the day on the Mont Ventoux. At the Bidouin Group, Satanas de Montparnasse, yes, that's the pseudonym, starts with a 4-second lead over Richard Doux and a minute and a half over Damien Coeur. On the Mont Ventoux, the competitors attack hard. And then it's the Jaguar that is leading the Tour Auto. At the finish line, Satanas and Diablo are quite upset, having just lost the Tour Auto.
Bon, un virage loupé.
That's it, we missed one corner. We could continue, but it was a big moment. It's a good thing I went straight, I think. It will be okay, come on. The Jaguar took off again, but it didn't make it to the end of the race. Damien Coeur, meanwhile, attacked like a devil to try and close the gap with Richard Doux. At the end of the final fight, luck smiled upon him, giving first place to Damien Sylvie. In the HI category, the most powerful cars ended in the Tour Auto. The final day's battle pitted Jeremy Minish's Ferrari 308 Group 4 against Olivier Breitmeier's BMW M1. Olivier made up some of his deficit on the Ventoux, but the crash on the following stage dashed his hopes of overall victory. This 13th special stage of the Ventoux was one of the most intense and made us almost forget a magical moment of the Tour, the traditional picnic, with a distribution of baskets to competitors at the finish line at the Chalet Renard.
Bienvenue au Mont Ventoux. Très fort. Vos deux paniers et vos bouteilles d'eau. Et vous avez un petit papier sur lequel il est inscrit les endroits où s'arrêter pour déjeuner.
The final two stages of the Tour took place on some of the legendary roads of the Monte Carlo Rally and the Nice hinterland. Paul Suron and Béatrice Derache, discreet but consistent, took their De Tomaso Pantera to second place in the HI category, just behind Jeremy Ménechet and Laurent Loubet, who claimed their second victory in the Tour. We knew this last day would be crucial, that everything would be decided in the final stages. Unfortunately, Olivier had some misfortune, but that gave us the opportunity to drive this magnificent stage in a more relaxed manner. It has been a wonderful tour auto in a fantastic setting. It's really a very memorable edition of the tour auto.
Une édition mémorable.
In Nice on the Promenade des Anglais, the podium was stunning, with Anne and Bertrand Penlaé finishing third behind Marcus Anderson and Nicolas Arena. And it was one of the Tour Auto's most loyal drivers that finally claimed victory he'd been chasing for 24 years. With his partner Sylvie, Damien Koller claimed the Holy Grail. I've done 25 Tour Autos, 14 of them with Sylvie. It's been lots of fun. I think I collected 8 or 9 podium finishes before this year, which isn't bad, but we never stood on the top step. But now we did, and that makes us very happy.
Ça nous rend vraiment très heureux et c'est un bonheur pour nous. J'ai rencontré Sylvie, la première chose que je lui ai dit, je lui ai dit écoute.
When I first met Sylvie, I told her that if we were to continue together, she had to do the Tour Auto with me. And it went perfectly. We never had an argument, we never got angry, although we both have our own character. During the rest of the year we might have an argument, but never ever on the Tour Auto. So yes, the Tour Auto is a big part of our lives. A magnificent conclusion to this edition, which will surely go down in the annals of this unique event.